So we've discussed inter vivos trusts. Let's move on to a testamentary trust, or the Latin term, a trust mortis causa. How does that differ from an inter vivos trust?
Thank you, Rumana. The main differentiation there is an inter vivos trust is formed whilst you're alive, whilst a testamentary trust is only formed after you have died in the form of a will, a testament.
So if a testamentary trust is created in terms of a will and only comes into effect after one has passed away, what would be the advantage of that?
So the main advantages of a testamentary trust are firstly to protect the interests of a minor beneficiary, but also to protect beneficiaries that may be vulnerable so that their inheritance is used for what you had intended it to be used for.
I suppose it's quite a valuable tool then also for aging beneficiaries where there's a shorter period of protection.
Yes, Rumana, and this will also give you peace of mind. For example, if your parent is aging and is frail, a testamentary trust can provide for their well-being, for their medical aid until they pass.
And then thereafter, what happens to that benefit?
Well, Rumana, that's a very important question. And this is why it's so important to have a professional draft your will, because in your will, you'll put exactly where those funds will go if this particular beneficiary passes away and there's still wealth in the trust.
So Daniel, in an inter vivos trust, we have a trust deed that's active, that can be amended by the trustees depending on the needs of the beneficiaries, the economic climate, or perhaps changes in compliance regulations. How is that different to the trust deed of a testamentary trust?
Well, Rumana, a trust deed for a testamentary trust effectively is your last will and testament. So it is very hard to amend, and only in certain cases can that deed be amended. Otherwise, it is set in stone and must be followed.
So that just emphasizes the point you made earlier, that drafting the will is quite an important exercise to undertake.
Yes, Rumana, and this is why it's so important to have a comprehensive trust clause in your will so that nothing is left unturned and that you have peace of mind that your actual wishes are recorded and can then be fulfilled in your will and testamentary trust.
The other important point to note is that a testamentary trust is created in terms of a testator or testatrix's will and is only effective on the death of that individual. So Daniel, how are trustees appointed in a testamentary trust?
In a testamentary trust, the testator or testatrix can nominate a trustee in their will, but it's important they specifically put this in their will. And it can be an independent third party or it can be your executor. So after the nomination process, as we know, the testamentary trust only is formed on death. It is important then for those trustees who are nominated to accept that appointment because they are not forced to accept it. So this is another important aspect in terms of estate planning, that you should reach out to those people that you nominate and say, if a trust is formed, do you have capacity to take up this appointment? And that will also help you with peace of mind.
Thank you for watching. For more information on trusts, subscribe to our YouTube channel or visit our website.